All right, we're out of hyperspace, and looks like we landed right on schedule for once. Um, Good work fine-tuning those engines, Lucas.
Thanks, I guess. Well, I had to nail this one, or Emily would have my head, because we're visiting Westeros to discuss House of the Dragon season 2, after all.
Yes. Yes, I am so excited for this. I'm so excited. Okay. But I can't be the only one who's excited for this, right? Come on, Bridget, back me up here.
Oh, you are not alone, sister.
Could this mean that you're ready to start your blind spot for Game of Thrones?
Oh, do not get ahead of yourself there. All right. I'm just looking forward to eating some gigantic turkey legs and riding on some dragons.
BB, this isn't a trip to medieval times Las Vegas, right? Like, there's also the danger of getting stabbed with an actual sword and getting toasted by an actual fire-breathing dragon. I mean, and not to mention the parasites in the food.
Oh, that reminds me. Did everyone pack their Alka-Seltzer tablets and ivermectin in their go bags?
Yeah, I also added some hand sanitizer to each kit. And when I say some, I mean a lot, like lots of hand sanitizer. You do not want to catch the shivers or the bloody flux or anything like that.
It's a good
That
idea.
sounds terrifying. What about grayscale? Can I get that from touching things?
Yes.
Yeah. We should also
Okay,
probably make
thank
sure
you.
that the med bay is fully stocked with penicillin.
Roger that.
Well,
Um,
Well,
all right, let's skip all this and let's jump in the shuttle and head on down for a quick trip to Westeros. I'm still waiting for suggestions on which city we should hit, though.
ooh. My vote, Dorne, because they have these delicious spicy peppers we got last time we were there.
Um, Obviously we should go to King's Landing. Gigantic turkey legs?
well, I also think we could go to White Harbor for their seafood. I mean, I could go for some crab dumplings for sure. And dare I say, jellied eels, anyone?
Turkey legs.
All
Eels?
right, on that note, Captain's choice. We're going to King's Landing. Monster turkey legs just seem to fit the mood. Plus, might be able to get some to watch some jousting.
Fine.
This girl got you to get some eels around here.
Come on, y'all. That's when the shuttle's a rotten dragon egg.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off.
This is The Verse, a weekly dive into the cinematic universes and beyond. We'll dissect the latest episodes, films, and news all fans from veterans to noobs are dying to know more about. Now, here's our team of pop culture superheroes we call the Verse Squad.
Welcome to the verse.
Ugh, man, I am stuffed. I shouldn't have had that second meat pie.
All right, everyone. Time to show off your swag. What you buy at the market.
Oh, yeah. I got this sweet saber, and it was slightly used, so I got a deal on it.
Ew, is that blood on the edge?
Uh,
Ah,
no, that's barbecue sauce. The turkey legs.
oh, I hope you had your tetanus shot. Anyway, I got this little potion that's supposed to make me invisible. Look, it even turns invisible itself. The trader said that it's from a shy, but that's probably just a scam. Is it working? I don't feel any different.
You look just as visible to me as before. So I got this super rad deer mask. It was from a trader from Beyond the Wall. And he said it had like magical powers of virility. So, my wife is going to be stoked about that. And what about you, BB? What'd you get?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I outdid all y'all. Dun 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 dun. Feast your eyes on this.
Is that like a Ferrero
Um,
Rocher?
a chicken egg?
No, it's a
quail
dragon
egg.
egg. Duh.
All right, BB. That is way too small to be a dragon egg. I mean, how much did you pay for that?
I don't know. Like 20 gold dragons I stole from Cronsworth's piggy bank.
Oh my god. That's like
Dad.
$5,000, dude. That guy ripped you off.
No, 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 no. It came with a certified letter and everything. Come on, see? Feast your eyes on this.
Okay.
Paperwork, dragon egg.
Uh,
Kind of smells like chocolate though. Is that normal?
yeah, I don't know about that one, Bridget. That it looks like the guy signed his name as IP Freely.
Don't you dare, badmouth Mr. Ignatius Percy Freely. He is a very respected trader in Westeros. He said if I put this egg in the fire for half an hour, a dragon's gonna hatch. So just 1 second, I'm gonna toss it in the warp core. Okay? Alright, BRB.
She got totally swindled, right?
Oh, totally.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm back. She's cooking. You just watch. We're gonna have a dragon on the ship, and by the end of this episode,
Is
promise.
that even a good idea? All right, well,
Sure.
No one ever said it was not a good idea.
It's not a good
I mean,
idea.
we haven't had a chance to chime in on this one yet. You just sprung it on us.
I mean,
Uh.
I don't see anything in our contract lease agreement that says I can't have pets.
That is very noted and will probably be a revisal of our contract in the near future. But thank you for bringing that up to HR. Who is
Yes.
HR on this ship, by the way? Is that Bert? I don't even know.
It was Cronsworth.
oh,
Okay. Now it all falls into place.
well, I sense a change to our bylaws in the future, but without further ado,
Let's meet the team. I'm Norm.
I'm Lucas.
I'm Bridget.
I'm Emilia, and this is The Verse News, where we bring you the latest in TV, film, pop culture, and superhero news from across the cinematic universes and beyond. So, let's see what the squad has come up with this week.
All right. Really am actually more interested in Emilia's take on this particular one because I know she's
Why
the
is
resident.
that? Oh, because
Just
you
say
play
it.
Minecraft.
Just
For
say it,
the-
Norm.
She is the resident Minecraft nerd here, and so what did you think of the trailer?
I,
Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
no.
First impressions. First impressions.
Why?
Did you know this movie was happening, first off?
I think I had an inkling and then I forgot about it and now I've been reminded of it in the worst way. It's like literally I feel like fans could do better. Why are they people why do the sheep look like that? And Jack Black is
Oh my god. I love him dearly, but I mean, listen, maybe he has a third home he needs to buy. I don't know.
Why is Jason Momoa in this? Like, so I know there are books. I know some
Fifth
people
home.
have written books about Minecraft,
Oh.
the setting and like whatnot.
News
but
to me.
like actual adventure books. I think they're adventure books. I actually don't know. And it's actually Mel Brooks's son.
Oh, I love him. Who wrote
Mark Brooks?
the zombie survival guide?
Yes, exactly him. He
Oh.
wrote.
So he
Oh.
got a
These books.
paycheck. Everybody's got a paycheck.
But like, see, this is why wanted to ask Emilia. Like, do you think these are based on those books, or
I mean, right now it looks like some kind of like Microsoft fever dream. So I have a hard time feeling like I mean, the teaser was very short, so we did get a lot. I'm really
Probably a reason
concerned,
for that.
very concerned it's just gonna be like 85 minutes straight of them making cube jokes. And I'm not paying for that.
I get that.
Bridget,
I
what
actually
are your
understand
thoughts?
So I feel like I don't really have much thoughts on this. I have never touched Minecraft. I've never played it. I've
I've
never
never played
actually
a
seen the book.
Minecraft.
I don't even know what it is. Like, is it a DS game? Is it a GameCube? I just said
It
GameCube, and that
started
hasn't
It's a mobile
existed
game.
in 15
it started on
years.
PC and Xbox, and then eventually Microsoft was like, "Oh, we can make money off this," and opened it up to other platforms as well. But
Can
it's
people play on their phones
predominantly
now too?
Yes. So
Like,
Yeah.
I
games?
discovered it
Yeah.
because my nephews and nieces were just playing it constantly. And I have to admit, as a game goes for kids, it's awesome. Like you get to build things, you
Oh,
get to destroy things, you get
So
there's like all
the
these
first time,
games
like what
within the
I've
game.
seen of it, how I've seen it, like I've literally never like watched anyone play it. Like none of my friends have ever played it. Um, to me, it looks like Tetris, but I know that that's not. Like
no,
all I know is there's like blocks involved.
It's an
I mean,
open
maybe
world.
they're in the
Yeah.
family.
yeah,
It's an open world gameplay, yeah.
yeah. My
Okay, so like when
kids
watching the
like it.
trailer, like it doesn't
No,
like it
well,
doesn't
Does
do
not
anything.
come
for
there's
me.
That should not be your impression of that.
there's no plot to it. There's no real
there's no
plot.
story at all.
There's
There's
I
some
mean,
little
there's like
stories that
there's a
happen within the
loose-
game.
there's hints to lore, and there's
Yeah,
like
but
kind of a lot of
Okay.
potential lore that they
right, but there's no
seem to not be
plot.
drawing on.
There's no
Yeah, no.
real objective in it. Like there's an objective you can do, but like a lot of like my kids just like seeing what they can design, what they can build.
Yeah.
They
That's
love
what it
building
is. You
tree
build
houses
cool
and stuff like
things
that.
in it. Yeah. You
It's
build
a
palaces and
sandbox
houses.
game, and I think that's what makes it like one of the best games is because Minecraft is a platform where you can do like anything. And
Yeah.
I know it sounds like a bold claim, but it's like you can build anything, you can mod it and have even more possibilities. You can create whole stories in it and like collaborative
So
storytelling.
it's very like a free flowing, imaginative
Mhm.
game. This is not like a storyline. Like
You can have
like
It
you
will
can
not
have
I'm
lend
thinking
itself,
of like The
yeah.
Last of Us. This is not like a
No,
story
no, and
that goes to video games. It's not
there's
violent.
modes too. There's survival mode and then there's creative mode. A lot of people just like my kids are always in creative mode, and when I tried playing with them, I was like, oh, let me try survival mode, and it can be a little brutal, especially when you're first starting and you have no
Yeah, you
clue
get
what's
chased
going on.
around by monsters and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember playing that one, yeah. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
as a game it's fun. As a movie
Yeah.
this looks like a complete disaster, and here's my prediction, like mark my words, it's going to make a ton of money. Because
No, it's gonna
kids
make a
will
ton of money.
turn out
Well,
to see
look
it.
at
my-
how
so it's
Super
gonna be
Mario
very
Bros.
successful.
Turned out. Like that.
Yeah.
No,
Which was
no,
actually pretty
no,
good
no.
though.
No,
Made
the
tons of
way
money.
the Mario movie and the Sonic movies, because those two Sonic
are good,
movies are
too.
actually pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna land here though. I don't.
No, but I don't think it matters. I think there's such a built-in audience of kids who are going to drag their parents to go see it multiple times. So it'll be a
I'm gonna be
moneymaker,
drugged.
but it's going to be dreadful. Yeah, good luck, Norm. If you
Yeah,
want, I'll
thanks.
send you some space gummies to take with you or something just to survive it.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no to it. I mean, I do have some, but I won't say no to more.
The whole thing makes me like sad because there's the like Minecraft is a game that's truly in the hands of its players.
Mhm.
Like very few other games, and there is so much richness to draw from within that community. Like they could have gotten like really famous content creators that are like invested in this. They could have gotten them involved in production or like helping write a story that's more informed by how people actually interact with the game or like the fandoms that people are familiar with. But that's obviously a silly pipe dream. And it also is worth mentioning that like the Minecraft influencer world is very diverse and varied, but unfortunately in a lot of ways very controversial. Just there seems to be a lot of Minecraft content creators that just can't stop grooming children. So this is that
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
That's
that's
probably
that's
gonna-
not
he-
where I thought that was
Wait,
going
he
at all.
No.
he was a Minecraft influencer.
who
I can't remember his name now. This just came out like a couple months ago, right? that,
You
like-
broke
I mean,
Bridget with this information.
unfortunately there's
It's a
just
pederast.
so
Oh,
I don't know
there's a lot.
which-
Okay, never mind. I wanna say
8-year-olds, dude.
my
PewDiePie or
Oh, PewDiePie.
Oh,
I can't wait to
Pewdie
watch
Pew or
this
whatever.
on an episode of Law and Order
Pewds has
SVU in
I don't know
5 years.
if I don't know if Pewds has entered the grooming trend, but he's certainly controversial for other things, or
okay, maybe
problematic,
that's what I'm thinking of then.
anti-Semitic, etc.
That's what.
Um,
Okay,
Whoa,
never
we-
mind. That's what it was.
This escalated quickly, is all I can say. As awful as this movie seems, I didn't think it would go there.
Wow. Okay.
This is where we're at now.
As we're
Well,
It was a real blow to me because these were like a lot of these people
the
were
real blow to
creators I
someone.
like grew up
mean,
with.
I don't know.
blow to Billy. Poor
I
little
would like
Billy.
watch them when I was 14, and then now that I'm older than that, I look back and I'm just like, oh no.
Maybe we should just go punch some trees to make some tools, dig ourselves
Yeah.
out of this.
Can I say though, if the only way this movie would have worked for me as like a film guy who likes actual entertainment that has value, would have been if they got like Spike Jonze or like, David Lynch to direct it, and it'd been like put in the hands of a weirdo and like do something insane with it. And I'm like, yeah,
honestly, give this to Taika Waititi and just tell him go nuts.
Oh God,
Just do something.
that'll be the flavor
Just
of
do
the
something,
week.
anything. It'll come out weird and it'll work.
Actually, it might be good. He's pretty much 50%. Like when it's good, I love him, and when it fails, at least it's like entertaining.
Oh boy. On that note,
Yes, shall we move on from this?
Did everybody watch the next one? That I was like very insistent that we talk about this for a reason.
I
and
did.
why is
Because
that,
it's spooky season?
Lucas?
Okay, thank you for asking, Bridget. Lee Wynell, I love this
pause,
director.
Pause. I have to go get my pumpkin spice latte. BRB. Hang on.
She's checking on her egg.
I'm now gonna get my leggings and chunky knit scarf. I'll be right back. And my Uggs.
You gonna get
I'll be
some
right
Uggs?
back.
Gonna get some Uggs?
No, but thank you. It is kind of leading into the spooky season. But Lee Wynell, who directed Upgrade, anybody seen that movie? I love Upgrade. It's on like Amazon for free or something to watch. It is such a cool little indie sci-fi film.
Which
Then
one's Upgrade?
Upgrade is where the guy is like it's in an accident, he's paralyzed, and they give him this chip that's going to make his body work better, and then he has like super martial arts abilities.
Never mind. I know what
it's
you're talking about. I
awesome.
didn't watch it.
It is so badass, and it's dark. It's like a little gritty film noir, almost like cyber noir, made on a shoestring budget. And then they hired him to do Invisible Man. Did everybody see that one that came out? Which was like a great it's exactly what they should be doing with the Universal monster movies. Have you not seen it, Emily? Did you see that one with the Scientology girl from Mad Men? I love her.
Oh, her, yeah.
You should see it. It's a
her name's
good
not Peggy
horror film.
in real life.
Peggy Olsen. Peggy Olsen's in it.
Yeah, Peggy Olsen.
But it's like really cool because it's such a small scale but like high concept for re-envisioning Invisible Man. And this is what he does well. He does these small stories. So taking the Universal monster universe, it's not Frankenstein, like Frankenstein has martial arts abilities, he's gonna take on Dracula's army. No, it's like this is a small story about a family. So like Invisible Man was like a story about relationships and abusive relationships, and this one you can tell is just like obviously a family that's like in a cabin and the dad turns into a werewolf. Like that, I'm sold. Like that's all you need to do with these monster movies and it'll make so much money. And I love that. I want to watch those movies, like, and keep them small and intimate. And like, I swear to God, like that's how you reinvent the MonsterVerse. You don't need like Tom Cruise, on a plane skydiving. Anyway, that's why I put that trailer in there.
I'm sorry, that was the Olympic closing ceremony. Let's not mix up our features.
Look, I brought it up last year. I'm gonna bring it up again this year with the spooky season almost upon us. Werewolf by Night, when Marvel did that and put it on, was really good, and I'm gonna watch it again coming up because it's spooky season, baby.
It's seasonal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good call. Good call.
So yeah, I watched the trailer. It's one of those things where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch it, and if it's good, I'll rewatch it again come spooky season.
Okay.
I'm excited for. I think we're thinking about doing some weekly horror movie nights in this household.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Do tell. Share what you're going to be watching because I have a list every year.
Lucas does, and he often shares it.
Ooh,
yes.
Okay.
And I just won't shut up about it. So, welcome to my life. But so everybody watched it. You look like you're going to see it. We can maybe talk about doing the MonsterVerse on this show. That's why I was kind of like teeing that up to say maybe we can do in the spooky season do the MonsterVerse.
I think we should label it as the MonsterVerse.
Oh, the MonsterVerse.
Yeah, get it?
Wow, Lucas, way to join us.
Sorry, I didn't. It took
took the long way around. It's okay, buddy.
I was not there either.
Bridget gets an A+ today.
I was thinking about how we were going to do the Monster Mash.
And then all we have to do is put like
do the monster.
We have to put a claw mark through the V when we go to advertisement. Like one spooky.
Oh hell yeah!
Ooh,
See, get our branding on that.
Or
Yeah.
or the V grows fangs.
Oh, I like that. I do kind of like
Maybe
that.
depending on the week. All right, I'm into
Yeah.
it.
All right. Any further thoughts on our newses? Well, in that case, that was the verse news. Now, let's get on to the real business and talk some Hot D season 2,
Hot D.
which is short for House of the Dragon for the uninitiated.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want
And
to scare
once
away our
again,
listeners.
I want to stake my claim to not liking that abbreviation.
From the mouth of George himself, you're stuck with it.
I know, but I'm just saying. I don't.
George has
don't
been
like.
popping off lately. I don't know if you've been following his.
I have.
He's been
his
blogging.
blog. Blogging hard. That's a
He's
good
been
name
saying
for.
things.
They see me
He has.
blogging.
He's saying
a
lot of
They
things.
hate it.
Anyway, so we were
All right,
we're
well, let's
covering
dive in.
all 8 episodes, which apparently there were
Mhm.
originally supposed to be 10, but this
Yes.
this process was disrupted by the writers' strike, so
What?
there were difficulties.
The 2
Two-
strikes, right?
2 strikes.
There was
So there were
this writer's strike, but then everybody else was striking
Strike
too. So it was
one.
We're just
like,
waiting.
Strike
Yeah.
two.
Luckily,
Strike
third
two.
strike didn't happen. But
yeah. Well, that'll be coming
I do
soon,
wait
trust me.
before
shut your
before
mouth.
before we jump into all of Hot D. I
Sure.
have to tell you guys something.
Verse
Okay.
confessions.
This is a verse confessions. My heart is thumping. Before I watched season 2 of this, I watched Game of Thrones all the way through. And I've been keeping it a secret until we were going to cover season 2 of this.
See what I'm doing here? My mind is getting blown. The
That
entire
is a
thing.
verse confession.
Oh my god, you really kept that a secret.
I actually think Emily is a little upset at you because,
Did
like,
you-
I think she's like, we could have been talking about this the entire time, Bridget.
You guys have no idea. The past probably 6 to 7 episodes, I had already seen it, was actively watching it, and I'd want to say a reference, and I would stop myself because I'm gonna be like, if I say this, they're gonna know that I watched.
Did you go back and listen to our Got Beef episode?
I'm gonna
then?
say,
'Cause I
you
feel like
gotta
you'd
go
have
back
a
and
lot
listen
to
to
say
Got
about
Beef
that.
now.
I did go back and re-listen to it, but I was we do the verse confessions, but usually we know kind of what they might be, the ballpark, and I really wanted this to be a surprise. Mostly
This was
for
a
Evelia.
shock, I will say. This
I
is a
am
shock. You
I
betrayed her.
mean, I don't even know how to feel, but
Well, and also, wait, okay. So I toyed with this. I talked to Steve about this. Maybe he might not even remember because this was
Steve
months
lied
ago.
to us too.
God,
The Mysterious
what a
Priest.
squirrely little
Because
bastard.
I said I want to I'm not sure if I want to watch and talk to them actively, or because I was nervous after listening to Got Beef before I watched Game of Thrones, your takes on it. I listened to part of it. I was like, God, I feel like my viewing experience is going to get really tainted if we have a weekly discussion about this.
Probably. God, they hate it. They won't shut up how much they hate it.
Look, I think everyone walked away from the Got Beef episode with just being like, hey, 90% or not 90, definitely not 90.
85.
I'm gonna go with 70. 75%
73.
we were good with. And then we got to this one point. Everyone got to a point, and each one of us got there a little later than the other. Emilia definitely got there before the rest of us. And then Lucas and then me. I was the last person to be like, all right, yep, that's where.
Wait, so
that's where it
Bridget, you
falls off.
you gotta dish it. So where do you fall on that? On really
Yeah.
quickly.
When
Just
do you
like
feel
a
like
two
this?
sentence.
Really quickly,
And also the
because they-
binging nature of it makes this more interesting.
Yeah,
so
the
different.
binging-
And it's time.
Yes,
been a lot of time since-
everyone he said how I think it made it the blow at the end, the finale didn't hurt as hard if you binge, but if you waited all those years and length between seasons, once you got to that final episode, you just I just gave up 7 years of my life or whatever, 8 years
Longer
of my
if you
life
read
for
the
this
books.
nonsense. That's
Oh, that's
ridiculous. But I'm gonna say this because I had to confess this because I wanted to talk about the ending of Game of Thrones in comparison to some things that happened in that season 2 of House of the Dragon. So at the end of the day, no, I did not like the ending of Game of Thrones. I think it's horse. And
All right.
Whole
House
take.
of the
You're on our
Dragon,
team then.
Valid.
and the more of the House of Dragon I watch, it's just like, yeah, I hate the ending more and more and more and more and more. Okay, so there we go.
Fair enough.
That's my take.
Good, you're on the
Okay?
team. Okay.
That helps.
That's my
Welcome.
hot
Welcome to
take.
misery.
So it seems like Bridget had a positive outcome on this season of House of Hot D.
House of the Dragon.
So how about y'all?
So I think it was really, really good. I had few criticisms. There were some changes from the book. Most of them I enjoyed a lot. They have changed. They have departed, not like that much, but the timeline has definitely gotten wonky. But my main problems are like more specific. They're not that big of a deal, honestly. But we're picking up from season 1, which if you haven't seen that, you should go back and listen to our coverage of that before you listen to this. But we left off with like the death of Rhaenyra's son Luke at the hands of Aemond by accident. I do believe it was an accident, but anyway, and
Well, yeah, that's yes. Which makes it so
And,
much more
yeah.
interesting and complex for all the characters involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
so things are still at the beginning of the season, like still in the simmer stage, but we are very quickly ramping up throughout the season into full-blown battle.
That's my criticism of this season. I have to admit, when this season was good, it was really good. Like there are some episodes that we're going to talk about like in a second that I was like, yes, this is what I signed up for. And then it was like, like, all right, remember the end of last season? I was like, oh man, it's popping off now. And then it was like at the end of this season, I'm like, oh man, it's popping off now. Like, no, they never, like, it didn't get there. I was like, this show is called Dance of Dragons. Excuse me, sir, will there be any dancing dragons anytime
Ooh.
soon?
Season 3
so-
is where it's going to
So-
be at.
Right.
Well,
so
that's
this
what I
is
thought we were
wrote
coming
down.
into. So anyway,
Ready? So my list of notes for watching the season House of Dragon. My last note literally says total setup for a wicked season 3.
but that's what I thought season 1 was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I
that's
wanna
my
get-
criticism. But when it
Yeah.
was good this season. So I'll, we can talk.
I want to
more
get
about that.
Norm's take, and then I have
Yeah,
something to say
Norm,
about what the
please.
end of season 2 was originally intended to be.
You also know the. Yeah, I was gonna say they got screwed by the red strike, and you know the book, so you kind of have a little more context than us. But
Well,
Norm,
I have also read the books.
please.
A quick reminder.
News to
But
me.
if anybody remembers and wants to go back and listen, I was not too thrilled with the first season of House of the Dragon, mostly because I couldn't attach myself to any of these characters. And it still holds, I still hold that to this season. I really didn't attach myself to any character that I was like,
Not anyone.
they're interesting or whatever until the last episode.
Okay.
Hmm.
And that's Shikara Lohar.
Wait, which one's that? Again?
Shikara
I don't know
Lohar
any of the names.
is so cool, and is the leader of the Triarchy, or the admiral
Admiral.
of the
Yeah.
Triarchy, and he's the one that mud wrestles with
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tywin Lannister.
That was
Thai-
rad.
Thailand,
Okay.
yeah.
And
That's
a
fun
good
character.
fact,
Yeah.
Lohar
Yeah.
is played by Abigail Thorne, who is a content creator who runs the channel Philosophy Tube on YouTube. She also does like a ton more stuff. She's really awesome. You should definitely check out her
Dude,
work.
I would definitely mud wrestle with that lady. She's
But
rad, so yeah.
up until wow, Hugh. Not
I was saying, you didn't like Hugh, like that
Oh, yeah.
character. The
Hugh the Hammer.
that to me,
Hugh the
when
Hammer.
this
is
show
not,
was
is
good.
not
Hugh
what
Hammer.
he's called yet. I
Hugh
don't
Hammer.
think.
Not yet.
Oh,
But he,
But-
I do like his character in the books, and so I was very happy to see him. But like all this season, I was like, that's got to be Hugh. That's gonna be Hugh Hammer. It's got to be. But at the same time, I'm worried because they're not sticking too strict to the books. I'm like, it might not be. They might pull the wool and they might go with
Mhm.
someone else. But it was good to see him,
and that to me was
Um,
the highlight of this season. That episode was, I was like, had no idea what the hell was going to happen. You all read the books, but Bridget, you know which one we're talking about? Where they're like, which was so rad. They were like, we kind of need some dragon riders. So I guess instead of
Yeah.
it being nobles, like y'all just like, they might eat you. You might get to ride a dragon. That was hilarious and
And-
terrifying.
so-
like I was like, that was
so
one of the best episodes of
Episode
the season.
7, my line that I wrote down was the dragons in all caps.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
because the thing about like the original Game of Thrones, it's like there are dragons, but it's not like it's a storyline.
so
but
rare,
They're not
yeah.
like prominent up until the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
This, I think I mean, it's called House of the Dragon. I would assume there would be dragons. But it was
There
just
be
like
dragon.
you just see like this the mass of them, how powerful they are, everything. And we saw that in season one too. But just like even I wrote something about like the camera marks in those episodes where they would like put the dragons behind Rhaenyra, where she's like standing on the cliff in the dungeon, and then she's standing on the cliff out with all the dragons behind her. Like it's so cool and so powerful. So you guys brought up Hugh the Hammer. So who is Hugh in the House of the Dragon? Is it the guy
He's
with the longer hair and the beard?
he's got the
Guy?
big
That's
bushy
Hugh the Hammer?
beard. Yeah.
He's the one that got the dragon.
Yeah.
He's the one that's not a sot. Like
Okay,
he's
gotcha.
he's kind of like he kind of understands the assignment.
Yeah.
But it's that scene though
Yes.
is so
Okay.
tense when they were just like eating people, flaming them, and then like
Oh my
he literally
God.
when he went out there to save it, I didn't know the story. I'm like, I think he's gonna survive, but I don't know. Like
No,
knowing Game
That
of
was a
Thrones,
change from the
I'll give
books
him
that
credit.
I enjoyed.
Yes.
Okay,
As well.
wait, it's funny you say that, Lucas, because we were following those two men, Hugh and the
Yeah.
other guy, like they were like doing close-ups of them like in
oh,
earlier
oh.
episodes. Yeah,
Are we
and I
full
was
fans?
like, okay,
Nope.
these two guys are gonna be someone. And so when they brought all the
maybe.
people out, I was like, I don't recognize any other face. Obviously, these two dudes are gonna survive. They're both gonna get a dragon. And as soon as the
Dude.
one fell off the cliff, I'm like, he's gonna stumble upon a dragon in the lair, which is exactly what he did.
All right, you
And then the other
called
guy
it.
was like, he's
You-
gonna command the dragon because he's gonna try to kill all the people. And it would end up just being he saved the one lady, and then he got the
Yeah.
dragon. I was like,
You know something,
but
Bridget,
it
though.
wasn't
You
bad. Just because I predicted it doesn't mean it was bad. It was very
you should not
enjoyable
have predicted those things because George R.R. Martin and Game of Thrones universe is not against introducing someone, giving what you
it's
think
not
is
a kind
plot armor,
universe,
and
you
then
know.
just murdering them.
But she
Ugh,
knows because she watched all
one
of
thinks
Game
of
of
a certain
Thrones.
Martell.
Yes,
So
the best character in all of Game of Thrones went
yeah,
down.
I just
so
think that
quick.
the setup there was too much setup. I think if they were gonna get killed right away, there would have been less setup. But there was like too much setup to these people. That's like obviously something's gonna happen to them.
All right.
I don't
well,
know. I
will
thought
say
the same
I
thing
was
about
not.
Daddy, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, I was not on
That's
that.
that's a verse
team.
call.
I literally was.
You know what,
I
Daddy?
was
We
literally
did
like
get, though.
Norm.
We got Daddy Patty.
Oh, Teddy Patty from first season, but yeah, but no, but like when
We did.
when which was like the introduction for me of that actor from what's his name from Last of Us, and that's like the first
Pedro
time he
Pascal.
made a mark. Pascal
Wait,
when he was in
by
Game
the
of
way,
Thrones.
I will say, wait,
I-
pause. Going back to Game of Thrones,
Sure.
that was the only time that I felt weak enough where I was gonna spill the beans that I was watching Game of Thrones earlier.
Oh, 'cause
because
you
I
how-
was,
That's a
Did it
shocking
enrage
moment.
you?
You're like,
I was
you're like,
unstable
oh,
after that episode.
they've been building
Yeah.
him up, and then boom,
and he
and
was
you're like,
so cool. He was such a cool character.
I was
Oh.
like, not Daddy, don't do that, not him.
Yeah.
We don't. It was.
But
bad,
anyway, so
but
to circle
fine.
back, that to me was the highlight of the entire season for me. Was I was like, finally a character I like, and I'll give this show credit. I don't like any of the characters, and I still enjoy watching them.
well,
I
Okay.
think they're
So,
pretty awful and
there's a difference
reprehensible. but-
between not liking a character, like based on who they are, but also just not being in their storyline. Like, my God, they spent way too much time with Damon in freaking Harrenhal. I
Yeah,
did
I
Oh,
mean,
not
that was
need
my
all
biggest
that.
criticism. My biggest. That
Dude.
should have been one episode.
Look,
one
I
episode.
like Matt Smith. I think he's a great
Yeah.
actor. I won't
It was
take
a great
anything away from
performance.
him. My God,
Sure.
like, dude, get out of Harrenhal. Do something, anything. This
That
what
should have
his
been one
character's
episode
doing
that
is
they wrapped
boring
up. Yeah.
as hell.
I feel like the pacing for that must have gotten thrown off with the season changes. Like, I have to believe that because I'm like,
Maybe.
ain't no
It's
way
possible.
they originally planned for him to be tripping, like, having like a PTSD healing trip at Harrenhal for 6 episodes.
By the
Like,
way, I really like that actress who was from Glow, who was in it.
oh, Gail
Who
Rankin.
played like the
Yes.
weird. I was waiting for her to turn out to be like not real or a ghost or
An
something. by the
apparition
end
or
of it,
something.
and-
Yeah,
An
I was waiting for it
apparition, yeah.
too.
But she was cool.
Um,
Like I liked parts of that, but it should have been one episode. It just went on way too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
So something that I noted that didn't happen in this season versus last season. So obviously, like everyone that's in House of the Dragon, when we started the series back in season 1, like all under the same roof, everyone like the storylines are all intertwined, and then they start to separate into the two houses. Okay, that happened like halfway through the season, and then we got separate episodes. Oh, hang on, my watch is going off. It was I remember like towards the end it was like, okay, this is the Greens episode, and then we're gonna switch, and then this is the Targaryens episode, and we're gonna switch, and it was like very like on that they were like dividing the households as like a setup point. Here it was like every episode it's like, okay, we're gonna touch here, we're gonna touch here, we're gonna touch here and touch here. It was kind of like how the Game of Thrones episodes were
Yeah.
set up. You go through all the
Mhm.
different lands and you're in all the different households, and everyone gets like 20 minutes, in the episode. And they did that here, but I felt like the storylines, like there's not enough girth and they're not separated enough that needed to happen.
Do you know what
Like,
it starts
the Daemon
feeling like,
stuff should have
Bridget?
been one full episode.
Yeah,
And then like
exactly.
the dragon stuff should have been like, that's how it was, like focusing on just the
It
dragons.
starts
in
feeling
the
like
episode
General
7.
Hospital or something, where they're doing this total, like, it just gets to be repetitive, and you're like, all right, you're going to inch the story forward, but not really do it. It just literally it starts feeling like a soap opera instead of
This-
like how grand it should feel and like the filmmaking should feel. Yeah.
This is where Emily and I should remind everyone that the books weren't like actual like novels. They
Books,
were like
like-
history
yeah.
books. They
Yeah.
they gave timelines and so and so did this and that. Just highlights, like nothing
Yeah.
like in depth. So
There's
there's
only a
not
few
as
chapters.
yeah, there's not much to like really sink your teeth into here as a writer. So they have to like they're obviously off script because again, there
Mhm.
is technically no book script. It's just hey, these things happen, fill in the blanks. So
Yeah. They have
but
to
the
fill
one
in like the inner lives. And I think they're
Yeah.
doing a pretty good job.
I think so too. Again, you definitely a step up from season one for me. Another big step up was the opening, the live. Instead of last season, it was like the blood trail or whatever. That made no sense. I
Oh.
couldn't follow.
Yeah, it was
This
so
one I could
weird, yeah.
actually follow. So
This one was easier to see like the little Easter
What-
eggs and how it would
yes.
change.
But I still skip them, unlike Game of Thrones. I would watch every time, and I was skipping these. Maybe I missed out. Maybe that was.
there was a
bad move
couple.
on
There
my
was a couple,
part.
especially
I
towards the end after
say-
the rat catcher.
Yes. Well, okay,
After
so I want
Rat
to say
and
this.
Blood and
as
cheese.
far as
Blood and cheese. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's what it was. Blood and cheese.
as far as like the episodes go, I loved it was like episode 7 with all the dragons. Like I really liked that. But I
That was
think my
awesome. We're gonna
favorite
talk about that episode in a
episode-
second.
Honestly, I think my favorite episode was episode 1 and the ending to episode 1 where they killed the kid because I was like,
Oh, what is it? A son for a
Holy-
son?
Wait,
crap,
was that
I
episode
was-
one? I thought that was
yeah,
episode
It's the
one. I thought
end
that was
of-
episode
that was
two.
the end
I
of
think they
episode
went in
1.
pretty strong. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good.
But I was like
That
sitting
was,
at my
that
screen
was
like,
messed up. Yeah.
oh my god, like I was sitting there like that did not just happen.
Is this a time to explain the book version? Or
Oh yeah. So,
So-
this is what George R. R. Martin was beefing about.
Wait, did I?
He beefed
Did
about
he-
this on.
you go off
on
about
his-
in a
this? 'Cause-
blog. In a blog
Because
post.
Yeah.
oh wow, because yeah, the
It
book
was on our
version.
Discord door.
Oh, it is. I'll have to read it.
Yeah.
The book.
Yeah.
The book version is different. I think the book version hits
It's
a little
more
harder,
brutal.
but at the
Yeah, it's
same
way more
time,
brutal.
I don't think it's like what they did. I don't think it's like worse or better.
no, it's just different.
I think you have to make changes when you write. Granted, so what happens in the book version is they ask her, "Who do you want to kill?" Like Sophie's choice,
but there's three
and she
kids.
says,
Yeah, she has
and
three
there's three
kids.
kids, not
Yeah,
two. And
not
they say, "Who
two.
do you want to kill?" And she says, "This one." And so they kill the other one just to be jerks, which is
So here's what I don't
cruel.
understand. They're like, which one's the boy? And I'm like, it takes 5 seconds to figure out which one's the boy
Yeah, you
in
could
Westeros.
you could
This
find
isn't-
it out quick,
This
bro.
isn't like nowadays where you're like, oh, I'm not gonna.
Don't
I
you
need
play
consent
Minecraft?
and what-
Sorry.
But-
It's not gonna happen here.
But anyway, they figure out which ones are the boys, and they get little Jaehaerys and little Mailer, who's like 2 or something. At least
Yeah,
they're
he's
like
very
both
young.
very young. Mailer is like the baby, and then like holds them both up and is like, choose one to die. And Helena's like, no, kill me instead. And they're like, screw you. And then she chooses Maelor, and then they kill Jaehaerys, and then they whisper to Maelor like, your mother wanted you to die, just so he'll remember that for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And then are there any other horrifying details that I'm forgetting?
Well,
They probably killed some serving women too.
So the one thing that I will say, it was more horrifying in this one regard on screen. They used a saw in the episode, but in the books it was just a quick lop off with a sword, right? It was a sword, right? I think it
Yeah,
was a sword. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, the saw is way worse.
It was
Yeah, no,
awful. It was
that's
just like I was just not expecting that, and the whole Helena storyline and how it kind of like when we get to the end of the season and how you realize that she um I guess has that same power that
Bran
the
does.
eventual king had in Game of Thrones, like the seeing eye stuff and
Well,
like
actually,
She's a
Warging.
dreamer.
what's the
yeah, I don't
term?
think it's the same.
She's
But it's
not,
like
well, it's a little ambiguous. She's not
she's an
necessarily like
X-Man.
a green seer or anything, but she or
Yeah,
like a raven, a three-eyed
she's
raven,
not a
but
three-eyed raven.
she's like she has dreams of prophecies, which I don't think is in the case in the books. Her story is
So
Not
much
that I
different
heard
in the
of.
books. Yeah.
yes, so that's what was
Okay.
my biggest question this season was at the end. Is Helena the one that's haunting Damon? Because it seems like that's who's pulling Damon's strings.
Oh, I didn't pick
Or
that
did I
up. If
completely
it's,
read that
No,
wrong?
because that's also what
Mm.
I was
I might have just
thinking.
missed it.
But then I was like, I guess I didn't understand the connection between Helena and Damon until it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, he had her child killed. That would make sense. Um, but that's
Yeah, unclear.
Norm. But that's the interpretation that I took away from it.
That that's how I came across that, but also like, is there some weird? I mean, look, this is the Targaryens, and we all know the Targaryens like to mess around with each other. Um,
Keep it in the family.
yes, they don't like to have the tree fork too much. Um,
But they're doing a
was
Yeah,
lot
that
of
the
inner
also
forking.
stepsister's caught in
because
the washing machine there all the time.
because it seemed like both Damon and Helena were having visions of Daenerys, and I'm like, the only reason that would happen is if they, you know,
Hmm.
Think?
Yeah, no, you have to be very literal with us. What are you talking about? Just kidding.
I don't know.
No, we know, we know. Um, every time I get comfortable with this show, this is why I love them. They just do like, for example, murdering children. Then like at the end of it, when Damon's like finally comes around and is like, no, I built this army for you, not for myself. Then I was like,
Wait,
oh my
by the
god,
way,
that's his like. Forgot that's his
stop.
niece. Like, oh,
But
it's so
stop.
gross.
Stop. The full circle Damon stuff. I just want to go back to this because, again, like, I just, like, I was not content with the Damon storyline this season.
no,
I,
not
I,
at
I
all.
just thought
No,
it
he
was
had the worst
terrible.
storyline.
And it was like, again, I felt like we spent a lot of time with him, but we didn't see a lot of development with him in that time we spent with him. So at the end, when he bent the knee, I was like, is he
Well, because he saw
though?
Rhaenyra as the queen that would unite the realm against the
Yeah, but
White Walkers.
I guess like in his mind, he would have been like, this is sorcery still. Like I don't know.
But
I just it
He's a
didn't
believer
seem
now.
it just seemed
didn't he also
awkward
have
to
a
me.
dream about his mother? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell these Targaryens
Don't worry
apart
about
because
that
Wait,
they're
one,
wasn't
all
he having
girls
Norm.
with
sex with
white
his mother?
hair,
Wait, was
and
he having sex with his mother?
that's look. These are the questions
Yeah.
I'm asking. It's hard to
He's
tell
having sex
because,
with who he imagines his mother to look like.
but it is supposed to be okay. Never mind.
It is supposed to be
Look,
Alyssa,
the
his
Oedipus
mother.
complex in
I
this.
was like, paging Mr. Freud, paging Mr. Freud.
What I will say
All
is
right.
that in the
Yeah.
books, like Damon's storyline here is pretty thin. They're basically just like Damon went to Harrenhal, convinced the Castellan to give over the castle, and then like he raised the banners. And also Alice Rivers was there. She's mysterious, but like Damon doesn't believe in sorcery, so there's nothing to be said about her. And I did find that omission a little glaring.
By the way, is oh god, now I'm trying to remember the character's name. The one Targaryen daughter of Daemon's, is she gonna end up being
Nettles?
thank you, Nettles. Nettles. I was gonna say Nettie.
What is
Yeah.
nettles?
It
What's
seems
a
like it.
nettles?
So you recall Rhaena, who doesn't have a dragon yet.
Yes.
But she was searching for that dragon that was a wild
At the
dragon
end.
out by
And then at the end,
the
she like
Reach.
discovers it, and then it
Yeah.
ends there. That one.
Which, by the way, great dragon design, like very authentic,
Dude,
very
the dragons were awesome this
accurate
season.
to the
Well,
books.
both seasons.
Um,
Well, okay. Can I transition then to the other favorite episode of mine, which was when we actually got dragons dancing?
Yes,
we had the
this was my
battle.
favorite episode.
Well, I will say they killed off my favorite goddamn character. Like Eve
Oh,
Best is
Princess
so
Remus?
awesome, and yeah,
She had such a good
who
death,
should have
though.
been
That
That
queen.
was
was like
sad.
that
She
was
had an
like a
awesome
warrior's
death,
death, just
I
like
was
her
gonna say
daughter
she
had a
went down like
warrior's
a
death.
champ.
No, but
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
I know her daughter died like in childbirth, but like she wanted to get, smoked out by the dragon instead. And it's like those are just some like boss ass women. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
goddamn.
and
that
I
that
love that
family line,
actress,
that
and
family line is tough. I love them.
Mhm.
I know, but it was a great episode. That episode was cool, and also that's when I started actually kind of being interested in Kristen Cole's character, which they did from that episode on,
Nah,
where
I
it was
just
like,
see him
I'm
and
not
I'm
saying
just like, you're
I
a
don't like
douche
him.
frat boy.
He's
I
so
don't know why, but that's the vibe he
He's
gives
kind
off.
of a villain, for now at least.
he
I
is,
like
but I
him.
like that. I
He's
like
a
what they're
good
doing with
villain.
him, though.
He's an annoying villain.
He's
Yeah, but I
almost
like what
an
they started doing
incel.
with him.
He's like one step from being an incel.
Dude,
He's
he's
so-
banging that queen way too
He
many
feels
times.
That's
to
the
be an
only.
He's like
That's the
incel.
only step that's missing.
No, he's so
Sorry.
annoying because he's so like, yeah, he's the guy that like, I can't stop having sex with this beautiful woman. Ooh, I'm such
Oh,
a
I'm
jerk.
so-
You're like,
yeah,
get over
exactly.
yourself.
Oh, his honor, his honor.
No, but like I kind of like when he saw the power of those dragons and how messed up he was over it. Where he was like, we can't win. Like as a soldier, I'm nothing on this battlefield, and that's true. Like that's the cool. It shows how cool the dragons are, and that's why we got it through his perspective. I thought that was super well done. Where it's like from
Yeah.
his POV when he's just like the guy, he touches the guy, he just turns to ash, and you're like, yeah, they have literally like, it's like going into the battlefield with jet planes in medieval times, right? Like, so it was really cool to see that, and it started making me more interested in his character. I can't wait for him to die. Like, totally can't wait for that scene. But at the same time, I was more interested in his character. Up until now, yeah, he was just so frustrating to me. And now I'm like, okay, now I'm like interested to see him die. Anyway, so that was a cool episode. And we also, poor little egghead, got his penis
poor
roasted
nothing.
off. What is with this? What is with
I mean,
this
he
show
like
where
he
they love
super
talking about
sucks.
roasting dicks?
Oh yeah, I mean that was not mentioned in the history book as
Of course
one
not.
would expect.
Like,
Also,
then his dick
why,
popped
I have
off.
a question.
and
Why
be
did we
boiled.
need the full? Why did we need the full naked Aegon
We-
or Aemond?
We did
in
not.
The brothel?
Oh yeah, that yeah.
That was
I don't know.
Why did
Emily's
we
like,
need
I don't know, I'm
that?
okay with it.
Why
Look,
did we need that?
look.
There was
look,
some
if you're
House
gonna
of the
get full
D.
frontal nudity on women. You're gonna get full frontal nudity
Yeah.
on men.
I'm
This
all
is
for
did
equal
appreciate
opportunity.
24, Bridget. We're doing
I was
this.
shocked though to see
Uh,
erect
Yeah,
P9
that's usually a
members.
bridge we don't cross. Yeah.
Look, we can say
Touche.
penis. It's a political term.
Penile for multiple, I
okay,
guess.
okay. So
Um,
I'm gonna tell you, this is what I wish happened. I wish that we actually
tell.
got less time with Damon. I'm gonna switch topics. Less time with Damon, and I wish we got more time with Aemon because I feel like he was going through a lot of character development this season, but I felt like I wanted more time in his psyche. Like we were getting the impressions from like what everyone else was seeing. His mother thought, Rhaenyra thought, like everyone of who this person. But I felt like we didn't get enough time with him and him alone. Like how is he in his own mind justifying everything that's going on? Does that make sense?
yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's
but-
interesting you say that and that we got too much time with Damon because like Damon and Damon like they're two sides, they're the same person essentially.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So everything that Damon feels is essentially applicable to Aemond as well. Like he
Yes, they're mirrors.
longs for the care of his mother, approval of his mother, and Damon longs for the care and approval of his brother, who is dead now. But they both kind
I
of
like
suck.
I like that actor though. Ewan Mitchell,
Both, definitely. Yeah, no,
who
the-
plays Eamon, whatever, he's great in this, and he definitely he's a good villain. Like that's a guy that I'm like, I can't help but kind of root for him, even though I think he's despicable at times, and like he's just interesting. Like I like how that actor plays him with an intensity where I'm like, I don't know, he's like, it's a good villain because you're like, yeah,
Well-
he's kind of a evil prick who
Evil
totally
eye patch.
toasted his brother. Yeah, and he has a rad eye patch. Yeah, like I don't know. I just like that actor, and I like what they're doing with his character. I think he's one of the more compelling characters on the show.
Well, so you bring that
And he got
up.
to hang
but
dong, so good on him.
I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna contrast that with, there was a scene between Alicent and Rhaenyra where they meet, and Rhaenyra's like, "Oh, so he told you about
Twice.
the song of Ice and Fire?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And then she starts talking, and she realizes that like, "Oh crap, I was wrong. He meant this." and she does nothing about it. And I'm like, there was a moment there where you just could have had her go full on, like, well, I don't care. That doesn't mean or lie about it, but the fact that she knows that it's true somehow, and that like she's still gonna let these wheels turn, is the way they play it wasn't sinister enough. It should have been way more sinister. She feel like they're trying to make it too morally gray, and it's not working.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Just make her sinister. Let it be sinister. Let it
Mm.
let her hang her hat on. Yeah, but your kids are still bastards.
I think they're trying to paint the two driving women of the show in a lot more of like a not a forgiving
Nuance.
light, but in a more like humanistic light to be like, and I think it kind of makes sense because they're basically like these are two women who are essentially like, everyone is a pawn in this game, and
Mhm.
they're pawns at a game that at the Game of Thrones that men love to play, and like even in the books, to a certain extent, like it is kind of the ambitions and egos of men that sort of drives a lot of the conflict. But and that does seem like where the writers have decided to like draw the line. And now, would it be more interesting if there was a little more evil and ruthlessness in both of them from the start? Like, I'm sure it'll come, but
I don't
maybe.
know. I feel like they're just trying to play it off too much, and that was a moment there where it could have been played off as in like your kids are bastards. Like I don't care. I don't care if they didn't know, because
Wait, I have a question about this. Okay, what was that like point? Like Allison has another child.
Yes, she has a fourth kid, Dayron, who was sent to foster at Old Town.
Why?
It's
Who's
like a thing you do. Like
yeah,
so?
Dayron.
Old
Come
Town
on,
is like where
Dayron.
her
where
family
she
home is.
that's her yeah that's her family home
But like, it's not like a
before she was
bastard
married.
child.
No,
It's the king's
no,
son.
pretty sure he's a Targaryen, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
But we haven't seen him. We don't know him.
We have
They
not
just
seen
wanted
him.
him out of the way for now.
I just I don't know. I thought I was like kind of like, oh, they have a fourth
So
kid.
here's the thing about the Alicent non-turn that I was like, because Lucerys, however you want to say it, has an amazing moment where he's mad at his mom for allowing, you know, watered down non-noble Targaryens
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
to
cool.
be
Chase.
taking what's that?
Jace, right?
Jace,
Jace. Yeah,
Jacaerys,
sorry,
yeah.
not Lucerys is the yeah. Anyways, uh Jace is like has this moment where he's just like ripping into his mom, being like, because I'm a bastard, and the only reason why I can settle my claim is because I ride a dragon. How dare you give that up? That was my only bargaining chip. And I'm like, preach, brother. You just went up
Yeah.
several notches in my book.
That was an interesting moment because I also loved seeing like the like we all know that the nobles like consider themselves, better like as humans, superior beings compared to lowborns. And that's always like a recurring beat, but I feel like we don't get to see it like laid bare as much as we did this season. And like especially for a
Mm-hmm.
house like the Targaryens who were descended from like blood Nazi crazy wizards. This is
Yeah.
like seeing a level of that like racism classism is like it's like yeah, let us not forget the Targaryens are not like they're not heroes, they're in power
No,
but they are not.
which is why I love that moment. That moment was so good to me.
And I do like though that opening it up to like egalitarian, like any scumbag off the street. If you can ride a dragon, we need you. It's hilarious to me that like yeah, the narratives we tell ourselves about like this is how things have to be. Then it's like oh wait, we're in a war we can't win. Okay, so we're gonna just remove this rule for now. And then we'll get back to it, right? Like it's just I feel like it's something so honest about it that's hilarious. Like, right? Like, of course, that's what you do to win a war that you shouldn't have started. Like, anyway, I really appreciated that part of like and honestly I didn't expect it at all. Like that was one of those things I didn't read the books and I was like oh that totally throws it on its head because we like Bridget was saying the dragons were these mythical beasts and only the Targaryens, right? Like and now you're like nah bro, like back in the day just some random fisherman suddenly gets a dragon, right? Like I was like, that's way more interesting. But of course, they're trying to control the dragons and they keep it in the bloodline, but it's because they're controlling power. And it's like she had to open up that power, and then you see how it totally changes the dynamic. It was really interesting. So those are the things that I liked about this season that they did well. Like was that was playing with those, adding in those elements to this season. Anyway.
Yeah. And in the books, it's actually Jace who suggests the events of the Red Sowing. And so it's like an interesting
Well,
change that they made to have him be sort of opposed to it. Because Jace is a lot more like, at least the way it's written, he's taking more of a leadership role while Rainier is like mourning Luke, I think. But that might have
in
honestly been a history book bias.
in the show, he still suggests it. He just doesn't want it to be opened up to Lowborn. He only wants nobles,
Mm,
Right.
yeah,
which
that's
which
cool.
I thought was
Right.
the fun twist to it.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
he came
That's
out
the
with that,
twist.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's good. I like that. This
That is
kid,
good, yeah.
this kid.
But
This guy.
yeah, I think it's cool the way that they change things and they're like, this is going to be the true telling that we set down on film, because like in the books there Rhaenyra is basically like extremely sad for a period of like very critical time where she's like not leading that much and her son kind of has to take over. And I'm like, is that how it happened, or could that be like slanted retellings by the Septons and Maesters that put this history together, or is it just a change, like up for debate.
You know what? Okay, there's one point what I wanted to ask you guys about. So season or episode 4 was the one where they like go to battle, the dragons go, and Aegon gets like there. It's like the big
Toasted.
battle episode.
I was extremely
Um,
hyped for that
yes.
episode.
I thought
Dragons
for
dancing?
a second,
Yes.
yeah. So when Aemon goes up and like tries to kill Aegon, like the way it was getting set up, like how Cole had the plan, like that Aemon was gonna come in anyways, but like Aegon obviously then is coming out and disrupting things. I thought it was gonna reveal like a master plan, like the whole plan of that was to kill Aegon. Like I
I-
thought that that's what was going on. Like the plan
Mhm.
itself was because they're like Aegon's a weak leader. I thought that Alicent was gonna be behind it. Like we got to get rid of him. Like he can't be like
Mm.
king. So I literally thought that's what was going on, like the whole point of it. And then it turned out not that way. So I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
No, it was very apparent to me from Cole's reaction that was definitely
Yes,
not
it-
part of the
that-
plan.
that-
Like
that's when I
the minute
realized, I
he
was like,
sees
oh.
which dragon it is, he's like, wait, that's not who it's supposed to be. Where's Aemon?
And Aemond is also surprised. He's like, he sees it and
But
he's
he's
just like, that
happy.
fool. But then he's like, opportunity?
Yeah.
That's messed up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, torching your brother is kind of messed up.
Would
Or
y'all
just
believe it
allowing-
if I said that the way that I think Aegon is described with his injuries in the books, I think it's worse.
In the books?
It-
Oh.
In the books, well, at least it's the idea of someone's armor melting into their skin.
Yeah, I was saying
Really-
you're
That
talking
was
about the fact that
disgusting.
like most of his
This is what confused me. I was like, I thought they were like, they had like were like immune to dragon fire, right? Isn't that what Daenerys like?
no. They're
No.
Maybe not
they're
all of
immune to
them?
regular fire.
Oh, but dragon fire
They're
is a whole
actually
separate
they're
thing.
I think they're just a
Resistance.
little
They have
yeah,
resistance, not immunity.
they're a little
Okay.
Oh.
heat resistant, but
I
they
guess that's
can
what
burn.
No, but
was
I thought that
also
should-
confused about that.
I thought that showed that he was like the weak, like he wasn't meant to
But-
be because he got. So
well-
just like remember the brother in the Game of Thrones got melted on his head and he died, whereas Daenerys was like. in
Daenerys
flames
is a
and she was
special
fine.
case. That one time with the dragons.
Yeah. So there's that one. There's also I'm trying to remember which episode it was in Game of Thrones where they were basically like, sorry, Valyrian steel also has like resistance to heat. Like you have to get it really really hot to be able to rework it. But like in this, it doesn't seem like that's the case because yeah, his armor didn't like melt into his skin like it was supposed to in the books, which was I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. I can't wait to see how they do this. And
I
they
know.
were just like, you know what? It's not gonna look good, and we're just gonna have to. No, it doesn't happen. Just cut it off.
Like I
Wait, is he
understand
like
why they
walking
made that
around with
decision.
melted armor skin like afterwards?
well, I want to say
Kinda.
walking around.
He's not walking a lot.
laying around.
Yeah.
So is he like doing laps around the castle in his armor? No. Okay, so we have to wrap this up pretty soon. But what I want to, one of the things we did last season was we said, "Are you on Team Green or are you on Team Black?" And I almost feel like this is pointless to ask this question because I feel like everybody's kind of on my team, which is like, let them all, like, let them fight.
Oh, no,
I don't care who wins. I just want to see them kill each other at this point.
Look, how the show presents it, I'm still on Team Black. I don't care about
Is
the
that Rhaenyra?
whole.
Oh yeah, well, Kristen Cole's so
Rhaenyra.
insufferable that I'm
The way
like,
they
fine,
treat
sure,
the small folk
screw them.
respectively.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's that, but also like the idea that look, the previous king named his successor. I don't care if there's what do they say if there's a Willie or not. I think somebody says something like well I never cared about Willies or something like that. I was like, oh come on man, you how many times in Game of Thrones do we hear Tyrion Lannister say the word cock? So
Too many
just
times.
say it,
Too many
Willies.
times.
Anyways, I don't care about that either. He named his successor. I don't care if the kids are bastards. It doesn't matter. The whole entire bloodline nobility BS always bothered me about anything. So I'm still Team Black.
Agreed.
Screw the Greens.
All right.
Okay. Okay, this is my issue. I'm still Team Black. I think Rhaenyra is a great ruler, and I think that she genuinely cares. I'm not saying she's great, she knows everything, but I think that like she saw her father kept peace. She wants to do her best to do that, and I think that she does have like some of the best interest for others. Like she doesn't want to start a war. She doesn't want to do all this. I think she's a really great character, and it just like flash forward to Game of Thrones, like Mother of the Dragons, Daenerys, and all this stuff. Like if you go back to her bloodline, how all these people are just like keeping the dragons alive and doing all this stuff, and this whole war. I just think it makes the ending of Game of Thrones like so much shittier. Like
Yeah.
it's like you have like a person like Rhaenyra, who I think is like a total boss, and all these people in her family that are total badasses. Daenerys is like a badass up until the end, and they're just like,
Yeah,
Just
you're
kidding.
the pain will fade over time, Bridget.
Yeah, it
Will
does.
it?
Definitely does.
will it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I'm
I don't
with
know.
you though.
I
Like
just-
that's one of the things that I still to this day I'm like, if they nailed one thing right in that ending, it would have been the heel turn for Daenerys. If they had just earned it, it would have been an awesome heel turn. And instead, it just didn't feel earned. And right now, I'm like, I personally, okay, sure, I guess I'm more Team Black because, like you said, the reasons why the legitimacy, they're definitely like less crappy, evil, wicked people in some ways. But not really. I don't like any of these people. I literally am like,
No,
let
I
them
don't like
fight.
him. I don't like him at all.
Go for it. Like,
I just-
like
battle it out.
Adam
Who-
seems nice.
Allison,
I like Hugh.
Adam and Hugh are
Hugh is
two
cool, dude.
big
I'm like
things I'm
on
excited
Hugh
for next
Hammer, dude.
season,
They
as
seem
well
nice.
as
I want the small folk. I want the small
Pirate
folk to
Queen
win.
Admiral Lady.
Oh, yeah, I'm into that too.
I think
Yeah, I'm
Missouri
on
is kind
Pirate
of cool.
Queen.
Definitely morally gray.
Yeah.
Mazar-
this is the thing.
Definitely,
the
I'm
green
with you.
children, the green children, Aemon, and all this, like they're terrible
Just
people.
despicable.
Like, I
They're
just
all
don't
super
terrible
weird,
humans. I
except
want
for
them to
Daeron,
die.
Helena's
probably.
interesting.
I don't want
Helena's-
her to die. I want her older brothers
Yeah.
to die. They suck.
No,
She's
I'm
also a
down with
weirdo,
that.
man. They're just a bunch of
Yeah,
weirdos.
but she's a weirdo in, like,
They
a
would be
good
in the
way.
MAGA party.
Yeah,
Let's be
see,
real.
Emily got it. Weirdo in a good way. It's like
She
Luna
just wants to hang
Lovegood
out
of
with her
the- of the
bugs and
group.
see the future.
Okay, I do
She's
like.
the
I have to
Luna
admit,
Lovegood of Game of
Luna
Thrones.
okay,
Thank you.
sure,
Yes.
yeah, sure. I'll give her that.
I will say,
right. So
I
any
think
last-
Daeron is nice, so we hear. He has
Look,
a nice. He also has a
Daeron.
very pretty dragon.
Have you ever
I'm-
seen
I'm-
Key and Peele or Aaron?
Daeron.
That's all I think. That's all I think when I hear Daeron. Okay.
I'm just a little upset the Luna Lovegood thing didn't trigger the Harry Potter kids more.
I
But
think
okay,
she's trying to
that's
quit.
fine,
I think
it's fine,
after
it's
the
We
fine.
love Luna.
after the latest slate of tweets from
All right,
uh,
we don't have to say her name.
Monster Queen over there, yeah. Everybody's kind of ejecting Harry Potter.
we
at this
shall not
point.
name.
Yes, for sure.
Um,
All right.
we only
Were
have
there any
other-
surprises, Easter egg things that we need to discuss? You seems like you guys brought up a lot of them already.
Yeah, I think we got
brought up a lot of details. Something that is sort of a surprise, I guess, but as a result of the disrupted production, it was supposed to be 10 episodes, and there was like the ending of episode 8 was essentially like this big cliffhanger where they're all marching on different areas and like war is about. I mean, war has already broken out,
gonna
but like
pop off.
more war is
It's gone to a grander scale.
Yeah, and I think that they were gonna include a certain battle. I'll just say gullet, and a certain battle that is I was surprised didn't happen yet.
Hmm.
But they're playing with the timeline a little bit, and I'm excited to see how that kicks off season 3
Very very famous battle in
So
all of
when
Game
is
of
that
Thrones.
coming out? Really? So this is
next
like
year.
okay. Oh, now I'm excited. Just a whole other season and 2 more years to wait. When is it
Yeehaw.
coming out? Literally, like I have a question.
I
Like
think
when
it
is
said
that coming?
sometime next year, probably
Hmm.
late.
Don't know.
All right, I will hold my breath the entire time.
Do you guys have theories?
I mean, I think you and I chiming in would be a little
We can't have
Unfair.
Yeah, that's a little
theories.
disingenuous.
I think
It on. Oh, Bridget, please.
that some new music is gonna drop, and the song is gonna be called "Ice and Fire."
okay. I do have a prediction, but it's not about the show. I predict that
Winter's coming.
Lucas
Winter
will
comes.
come back at the end of next season and tell us that Adam is one of his favorite characters.
Who dat? Have we not met him yet?
We've met Adam.
Which one dat?
He's the African American dragon rider, the African Westerosian dragon rider.
The-
He was the lowborn,
Yes,
the fisher guy.
Yeah.
yes.
I liked his
bastard of
his
Corlys.
storyline was cool. Yeah, yeah, okay.
Strong.
Oh, don't
strong
you mean
feeling.
the bastard of Laenor?
Is he a bastard of Laenor?
He they like
Wait.
claim that he is, but like nobody believes it. 'Cause
Okay.
the
Well, whatever.
way that it is.
I have a funny feeling
Okay.
Lucas is going to come back at the end of next season and be like,
I'm on Team Lowborn,
Was
so-
right. Adam's my favorite character. That's my
Yeah,
prediction.
I like
I'm
rooting
also
for
on
the
Team Lowborn.
underdogs and the poor people. Those are my people, so I'm rooting for those people. So yeah.
Dragon egg is ready.
How much you want to bet she just fried a chicken egg for 30 minutes?
If she put it in the warp core, it's irradiated as well.
Well, I only had one monster turkey leg, so I feel like I'm getting a little hungry again, and I can go with some green eggs in hand.
Squad. I have some good news and bad news. What would you like first?
Give us the bad news.
Okay. Well, it turns out it wasn't a dragon egg.
Ooh, I'm shocked.
No.
Yo.
So what's the good news then?
Got this little furry friend instead.
I mean, I don't know if it's worth 20 gold dragons, but I have to admit that is adorable. What are you gonna name it? My boy?
Well, of
My
course
boy.
he's my boy. But I'm calling him Fuzzy Wuzzy because he's fuzzy. And look at his ears kind of
BB.
flap like dragon wings.
BB, that is not good news. Like, not in the slightest. Norm, quick, shoot that thing with your blaster. Stat.
Why? What's the matter? BB took away my blaster after last episode,
The incident.
which
Oh
we
my
don't
God,
talk about.
It's too late now. It's too late. We're screwed. It's a tribble, and they already started breeding.
And she put it in the warp core. Oh, jeez. Okay, that must have supercharged their duplicating ability. Now we're gonna have mutant tribbles.
Fuzzy Wuzzy has been a pretty busy boy. Your fertility mask was probably a bad idea, Lucas.
Danger. Ship's mass is exceeding safe levels for sustained orbit. Please eject extra mass or planetary crash is imminent.
I am not taking the blame for this one. Norm, can you do something about this already?
Even if I could see the controls, I think the tribbles short-circuited them. Their weight must have damaged the system.
Okay, hang on. I think I got this. I just need to reach. Okay, everyone, take a deep breath. Hang on to something.
Thank God, Emilia.
Oh, Good work, Emilia. Might even consider a promotion for you.
Man, I knew that jerry-rigged eject button would come in handy someday.
The what?
What?
Fuzzy Wuzzy. He was a good friend.
I thought Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
Fuzzy Wuzzy
And
was
Fuzzy
a turtle.
Wuzzy had a lot of hair. Okay, are we rhyming? He's dead. Well, that was our coverage of season 2 of House of the D. Hot D.
I don't like
Trademark.
it.
Stay tuned for more great discussions and interviews by catching us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Also, keep up to date on news and other important information by following us on Instagram and X at The Versecast or by visiting our website, theversecast.com.
I had to hold my breath on this one. You know who had a real hot D? Amond.
Why did you hold your breath on that one?
I've seen better.
Well, I couldn't say it earlier.
You were blinded
because
by the
I didn't wanna-
Ds.
I had to get to the point, and anyways.
Blinded by the D.
Anyway, if
All
you'd like to
right.
follow any of us individually to hear more of our Hot D thoughts, you can find me on Instagram at EmiliaFU.
And if you want
That's
to
all.
find me, you can find me on Twitter, and I'm still calling it Twitter. I won't call it anything else. At @random_white guy.
And you can find me just on Instagram at Bridget Brogan16.
And you can find me, Lucas Longiger, as at Luconia Logic on Threads, on Twitter, on most other social media.
And finally, there's our producer, Stephen Pruzikowski. Last I saw, he was grilling, hot dogs and stuff, but like
Oh.
really charbroiling them. I don't know what's going on there.
Where did the hot dogs come from?
I did
Paging
not ask.
Dr.
I'm
Freud.
hoping they're all
Paging
beef.
Dr. Freud.
Hoping they're all beef.
boy.
He can be
Sometimes
found.
a hot dog is just a hot dog
hungry.
Anyways, he can be found on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd as @FilmSnork. Also, be sure to check out his other podcasts, TV Topics, wherever you listen to ours.
And we also recommend, if you're going to go back into the TV Topics archive, listening to the episode with Patty Considine. I do co-host that one, and we talked to him about House of the Dragon Season 1. He's a really interesting, cool
He's
guy.
rad.
So
Such a nice guy.
Oh, there's our music. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time in The Verse.
The Verse is produced by Stephen Pruzikowski.
The question is, if you owned a dragon, what would you name it?
The Broganator.
All right.
No, it's got to be like a dragony name, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
it doesn't
Who's
have
to
to.
say
It's your
that
dragon. You can name it
the
however you want.
Broganator can't be a dragon name.
One's called Sunfire. It could be whatever.
One's
I feel
called
like-
Cannibal.
Right.
I like Bridget Dune. I like Bridget Dune. That
There's
sounds
Sea
fun.
Smoke. Come on,
Sea
there was.
Smoke. Oh.
It could be whatever. It's your
Broganators fine.
dragon.
That's a fine name.
I want something with like burning into it.
I mean,
Like-
I can give you some options.
Burning death.
Here's one.
Like,
How
I
about
think
The
that's-
Broilganator.
The broiler.
Just the broiler.
Broilinator.
The broiler.
The
Let's just
broiler.
Oh, the
actually-
broiler. That's a good one. How about Volthrax? Or here's another one.
Squirtle.
Are you
Dracarian
are you AIing
Charmander.
dragon names?
Charmander. Charmander's a good
Charmander.
idea.
Charizard, guys.
Chorizo.
Charmander's cool.
I love chorizo.
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 Dude, naming your
That's what
dragon
Bridget just said,
chorizo
wasn't
is
it?
awesome.
Wait, I think I would love to name my dragon chorizo.
He's spicy.
There you go, spicy. I love it. I love it.
All right,
Chorizo.
Chorizo is the best.
Chorizo.
That's the winner.
Nah.
That is the winner.